Barbells to Babies with my co-host, McLeany Trained.
I was like, are you going to say my name or am I going to be like, Sean McLeany?
I feel like you can do an intro.
Yeah, I'll do the next one.
All right, what's this one about today? You can get into it.
This one, we're going to go quick fire into the silly season. Now, I don't like that actual name of it. We just use that because it's like, that's what everyone says. But is it really that silly?
Celebratory season?
Celebratory, yeah, exactly. You know, it's like, well, really, why is it called the silly season?
I think because it's hectic in terms of like busyness.
For everyone?
No, and well, sadly, sometimes some people feel a bit lonely this time of the year, so that's also quite sad. I've been there before.
Lonely.
Yeah. So we are talking about, that Christmas, New Year period into Australia Day, really. It all rolls in. It's like a good, but that's the problem. Sometimes people see it as, okay, well, from like December 10th when my work Christmas party starts through till January 26th, I'm in the silly season.
Every day. I'm drunk. I have to be drunk as well. And I have to eat all of the food.
I have to eat everything and I can't leave anything on my plate because it's rude. Yeah. I have to eat all the chocolates Nan got me for Christmas in one day. Yeah.
That's silly.
Yeah.
That's why I think that's why it should be called the silly season. It's because the attitude that a lot of us do have is kind of silly.
Yeah.
Like if you think about, all right, the main reason for silly season is it's Christmas. So you got Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, Boxing Day. Then you've got some normal days.
Yeah, if you're in America, Thanksgiving. Yeah.
Thanksgiving and then we've got
New
Year's Eve, New Year's Day.
Yep.
So really it's 5 days.
And then the problem is
over a
the people
7 day.
then I've got Australia Day, then I've got Easter, and it's like,
Day's
then
a
you're in
month
June.
away. You've got a month between New Year's Day and Australia Day.
Yeah, if you're planning like your whole year around these social events and it being such a big, I can't stick to my goals, I can't do my thing because it's that time of the year again, you're going to literally be saying that every single month besides between maybe May and September.
I can pretty much think of something, every
It's always the Queen's birthday.
2 to 4 weeks, yeah. Is it still the Queen's birthday? I don't know. Who is it now? It's the monarch's birthday, isn't it? Oh, we give a fuck.
We're just bitter because we don't get public holidays off work. So and we have to pay for childcare.
Never had public holidays.
We have to pay for childcare and we don't get the day off.
Yeah.
That's
bizarre.
bizarre. Yeah. But next year, clients, I'm not working on Fridays, so get ready.
No.
But yes, we're going to go quick fire into it today. So we're going to give you some actionable tips rather than just talk shit about this social season. While I termed it on my notes the social season. It's not a silly season. It is a more social season.
That's it.
And sometimes it can be a lonely season as well. So sometimes that can have you eating your feelings. And that can maybe be another podcast that we do on emotional eating. But if it is a silly season, I do think people go, well, it's the social season. I'm just going to give up. I'm going to sack my coach. I'm going to binge eat and I'm going to get drunk every day.
Yeah. I know I'm going to do this and I want to do nothing about it.
Yeah, which is fine. If you're fine with that.
But is it fine? Are you
I don't care. I don't care about someone else's goals.
As a coach.
I care if I'm your coach. Yeah. I care if you care. Yeah. But if a client says to me, I don't care, I want to go stupid over this time of the year, I'm like, well, I ain't the coach for you. Yeah. Because I want to help you stay on track with your goals, not feel like shit come January, not have you come back to me in February and be like, Alice, I've gained 5 kilos. Can you now get that off? Your metabolism's in a dog shit place because you've eaten crap and you've eaten bad food and you just haven't taken care of yourself, haven't trained, you've lost muscle and you gain body fat. Yeah. Like, well done. Like, it's one of those times where you also don't then want to feel guilty. And you hear the whole memories over macros and it's like, yeah, to a certain degree, but there's a degree at which
one or both.
You've just spent 10 months of the year working really hard, achieving a goal. You can send that all backwards in a short period of time. Yeah. So where is the line? And that's kind of what we want to talk about today.
It's more about how can we navigate this so you're enjoying this season, but not recovering from it.
Yeah. Not feeling like you have a constant hangover.
Yeah.
Like from food and
food
from
hangover,
food hangover. Like, like if you've ever been a competitor and you've binge eaten after a show, we've all been there, you feel like dog shit for like a solid week, like bloating, stomach distension. You've got no motivation to train. You're not recovering in the gym. So you've got to think about those compounding effects. Yeah. And I think people don't think about it that way.
It's a win, lose, lose. In the moment, it's a win. You're like, fuck yeah.
Yeah, clients like, my coach is just telling me not to have alcohol. And I'm like, I'm not telling you that. No. I'm just saying you're going to feel like crap. Yeah. So like maybe find that line of like, which social events is most important to you? And that's a big conversation I'll say, you've listed 6 events to me in the next 3 weeks. Which ones do you want to choose to drink at? Which ones are important? Which ones can you maybe drive to? Which ones can you maybe have one drink? Which
That's
ones
a good strategy
can you eat
of,
before?
Self-control is
pick.
Why don't you drive?
Yeah.
Because if it's like, this event,
that important.
This event's
Christmas
not that
work
important.
party or
it's
something.
my partner's Christmas party.
Yeah.
Let
him get drunk.
You don't want to be the drunk one that's not even working at that place. That's like, your husband's a little bit loose, isn't he?
Yeah. And then you go to work on Monday and they're all like, your missus at the Christmas party, she was flirting up a storm.
Yeah, saw her tits, or I saw your husband's cock because he dropped his pants because he was so drunk.
Dropped the keys in a bowl.
Exactly, So it's like, if you drive, that stops you from drinking every single time.
Yeah.
You don't have to drive every time.
Yeah, especially if you feel social pressure. So that's the big thing. I've got a lot of clients that say to me, I don't actually want to drink, but my friends are quite big drinkers and I'm in that circle socially. And I'm like, well, if you drive, then they get a lift home, a designated driver, and it's not going to bother them.
Ubers aren't cheap.
Yeah. If you've also got a friendship group that judge you if you choose not to drink, that's probably something to look into.
Yeah,
it does. So especially if, they say, oh, how about just one? And you're like, yeah, that's fine. And then they pressure you to have more. It's like, okay, that's something we have to look at. So first up with the social season, the number one thing you need to do is what? What are your goals? Where are you? Are you in fat loss? Are you in a surplus? Are you at maintenance? And why would that tell a different story of what we'd suggest?
Well, really, you think about this. If you're in a surplus, Christmas and New Year is fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
We've got
fine line.
We've got friends. Let's talk about guys.
Yeah.
A big surplus.
Yeah.
It's like if you know that you're going to train and you need that food, great. You've got a different variety of food. You don't have to eat chicken, rice, and broccoli to be in a surplus.
Yeah.
You can eat, a roast dinner. You can eat cheesecake. You can eat all this stuff. As long as you're still ticking the bases of, okay, I'm still at my protein, I'm still at my fiber, and I'm still at my calories. It doesn't matter what they compose of at the end of the day, as long as you're roughly hitting those calories and not feeling bloated as fuck in the guts.
Yeah.
So sticking to your goals still, especially in a surplus, it shouldn't be that hard.
Yeah.
You don't want to make all your calories from alcohol, though.
Yeah. You'll lose some muscle.
Yeah, you can have that alcohol, though, but for example, I've got some guys that like to have 2 beers every single day.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm going to build your meal plan around 3,000 calories, and let's throw in 500 calories every single day. There's 2 drinks.
100%.
That's every day.
Yeah,
so
and that's why
it's not unhealthy because they're not unhealthy. They're not in a bad, healthy blood markers way, and they're not overweight. So it's like, if that's the case, fine, you can do that, and especially in the silly season, you might be having 3 every day.
But if you're a female and 1,500 calories in a deficit and you're wasting 500 calories on alcohol, you cannot hit your macros with 900 to 1,000 calories. You can't hit your fiber and your protein and feel good and feel energetic. So you might have to limit yourself to 1 drink if you're on 1,500 calories or a couple of times a week, not every day. It's all of these things, right?
What have we got these days that are calorie-free? I know you don't want to eat too much. We know that chemicals, this stupid word, aren't that bad for you. So we're in a very lucky era where there's diet this, there's calorie-free that, there's sugar-free this. There's a lot of those sorts of things. So if you think about, okay, I'm going to go out, I'm going to have a sugar-free lemonade and vodka.
Yeah.
How many calories are in that?
Well, I just always say 150 for a shot or 100.
Yeah, exactly. There's really not that many calories in that. So there's certain drinks that you can decide to have as well.
Gin and tonic.
I'm not going to have. Yeah, I'm not going to have the really creamy cocktails.
Pina colada
and stuff like that.
Espresso martinis.
Or 500 calories. So it's doing it, but
sugar syrups and
doing
whatnot.
it better.
Yeah, 100%. And then also making sure that you're accountable to that, so that you're not not adding those calories to your calorie allowance for the day is a big thing. But I hit my macros, but then I've got an extra 300 calories from booze. It's like alcohol doesn't show up as a macro. So you're going to have to either add it in as one of your macros or just look at total calories. That's what I generally say.
That's what I was going to say. How do you navigate adding calories in?
Usually I just say hit your protein and total calories because then I know they're going to be ticking those other boxes. Maybe look at fiber. But outside of that, that's generally what I get clients to focus on when they are sort of tracking. But again, it comes back to goals. If I have a client who's in a fat loss phase over Christmas, it's going to be very different advice to somebody in a surplus. So somebody in a surplus, I might say, look, you just can have a whole week off tracking. They're telling me I'm going camping with some mates from Christmas to the 1st of January. Yeah. Okay, cool. You got a week off, 1 week in the year. You're not competing. You're not doing a powerlifting comp the next week. You're just a lifestyle client. you're going to be okay. I'm confident that you've built really good habits over the last, say, 20 weeks working with me, where if we give you some, habit-focused goals while you're away, so I still want you to hit X, Y, Z daily, but you don't have to pull out your scales. You don't have to get your MyFitnessPal out. Like, amazing. If we can do those things, that would be really, really fantastic. But we don't have to put that pressure on you to be inherently tracking every single little micro thing. And enjoy yourself. It's a fat loss phase client, different story. I might be like, look, on your camping trip, let's still take the scales, let's still do things, but maybe we have a bit more flexibility. We're just focusing on calories over that time, or we're just focusing on X or Y or these other
staying active.
100%.
What about if someone is in a fat loss phase, they do want to be sociable? What's your opinion on calorie banking?
I think I really like it, especially for this time of the year. I don't like it if it's used too much year round.
Agreed,
I think that if it's used for a period of time and it's not too much, I always say, look, about 10 to 20% of your calories per day. Because let's say, for example, you're only on 1,400 calories and you calorie bank down to 1,000 calories. So you're taking 400 extra over 2 days because you want an extra 800 on the weekend. 1,000 calories is going to be hard to stick to. Not only hard to stick to, but you might feel really lethargic. You might not be able to hit your fiber and protein. So do it within scope. But I definitely like calorie banking, especially if you can go and pick some stuff off a menu. It's a good idea before you go to a restaurant. Look at the menu beforehand going in, and then pre-track some things in. So that's really, really important as well. We're going to wrap it up pretty quickly today and just give you guys some actionable dot points as well. So definitely, if you can get menus, amazing. Pre-track. If you're going somewhere like a family or friend's place, you can ask them what are we having for dinner. You don't have to say in a way of I need to know it for my macros, but you can go, cool, they're cooking turkey or steak. Cool, sweet, I can pre-track that.
I'm going to go for the turkey over the steak as well.
Yeah, 100%. What else?
Choose your event.
Yeah.
Make sure it's like, okay, I've got 6 events. 3 of them aren't really for me. I'm just showing up. 3 of them I really want to enjoy. Okay, we'll choose those ones.
Yeah. Get clear on your goals and expectations. If you expect to not gain any weight, but then have those 6 events and do whatever the fuck you want at them and not gain weight, you're going to be unrealistic. Like, have some goals and structure. Again, unless you're in a heavy surplus, you're probably going to be okay. But if you go in a fat loss phase, expect to go YOLO and drink alcohol and then expect to not gain any weight, like, you have to be realistic. Yeah. So chat to your coach about, these are the special events, what's realistic for me? And the coach might say, cool, over this period of time, if we fluctuate 2 to 3 kilos, that's okay. That's completely normal. Much more than that, you're probably going a little YOLO. We need to rein it in.
You might be
so it's finding those dials, really. Yeah.
You might be in a couple of phases in this phase.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, over those 3 events, all right, I'm going to try and go maintenance. Yeah. Or if I gain 500 grams, I've done really fucking well.
100%. And that's where you can use things like diet breaks, refeeds, non-track days. So you can utilize all that stuff, and often going lower, say, with calories Monday to Friday, higher on the weekends. That's something I love doing. Or 5 days tracked, 2 days non-tracked. All of these sort of things that you can do, but still having habits and focuses on those non-track days. So it doesn't mean, sweet, I've got the day off, I'm going to binge eat all day. It means, cool, the event's on at dinner time. That doesn't mean I need to have the whole day turned to shit. Yeah. You can still have a really good breakfast, a fantastic lunch, have maybe a protein shake before you go, and then go out and enjoy yourself. I think that's the thing. People just kind of go, yay, coach, just give me a free day. Like, fuck it mode.
5,000 calories of alcohol.
It's not the point. Yeah, just go out and have a normal meal. Yeah. Like, eat a normal thing off a menu, stop when you're satiated. I think another big thing I say is slow down, eat mindfully and intentionally if you are on those non-track days. So chew your food, sit down with your meals, like, be in the moment, and also remember that you are there for memories, not just food. Yeah. I think that's why we call it a social season, not a silly season, because remember why you're there. So if you're feeling like you're missing out because other people are maybe binge eating or gorging on something and you're like, oh, I'm not having the pina colada, I'm having the gin and tonic, just remind yourself of why you're there and remind yourself of your goals.
No one goes in 10 years' time, I remember that pina colada.
That's a good one. Although I do remember the espresso martinis at Gold Bar for anybody listening. Yeah, they were good ones. Yeah. But it's the memories, right, at the end of the day. So think about it.
You just went there and drank a espresso martini on your own?
Yeah,
no, exactly.
I didn't go, oh, I feel like an espresso tonight. I'm going to go to Gold Bar. Exactly. So I think that's the big thing. We're going to wrap it up there, but really just expectations, realistic. Also be kind to yourself. Like, if you've really gone hard all year and you're really nervous about this, we understand that too. We're empathetic as coaches. If clients tell your coach as well. Yeah, tell your coach that you feel nervous or you're feeling anxious or you want to have a discussion, have a phone call with them or whatever you can do to ease those anxieties. That's what we're here for. Yeah. Especially clients who are more, I guess, perfectionist mindset can really struggle with it. Yeah. And people who are a bit more the opposite, or they're a bit more like YOLO, like then we've got to kind of rein them in. So it's finding the happy medium, right? But your mindset, your overall health. They're the most important things for this season, as well as enjoying time with your friends and family.
You can enjoy it and not be a silly goose.
Exactly. A silly goose.
A silly goose.
All right, guys. We hope you enjoyed this episode. If you liked it, share, comment, do all the things. And we'll chat to you in the next episode.
See you again soon.
Bye. Yeah, I think I hit rec rather.